Open world in 2025 and 2026 hit different. Here are 25 games you can actually play right now. No waiting, no trailers, just pure exploration. Monster Hunter Wilds kicks off the list, and honestly, it deserves the top spot. Released February 2025, this is Capcom at its absolute best, delivering a seamless living world called the Forbidden Lands, where weather shifts mid-hunt and ecosystems react to your every move. No loading screens between areas means you go from base camp to a raging storm biome without a single pause. The combat is deep, the monsters are terrifying and beautiful at the same time, and the gear progression loop is genuinely addictive. Whether you hunt solo or with friends, there are hundreds of hours here easily, and the post-launch updates have kept it fresh. If you only play one game from this list, make it this one. Coming in at number 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows finally delivered on the long-promised Japan setting. Dual protagonists Naoe and Yasuke offer two completely different playstyles and one of the most visually stunning open worlds the franchise has ever produced. Feudal Japan is recreated with ridiculous detail, from snow-covered mountains to dense bamboo forests and intricate castle interiors. The seasonal weather system is not just cosmetic, it actually changes how stealth and traversal work. It launched in March 2025 and has since been patched into an even smoother experience. If you ever wanted to live out a shinobi fantasy inside a massive, breathtaking open world, Shadows delivers exactly that with style. Number 3 goes to Ghost of Yotei, the sequel nobody expected to hit this hard. Set 300 years after Ghost of Tsushima, protagonist Atsu is out for revenge against the Yotei Six in the stunningly rugged landscape of Ezo. Sucker Punch pushed everything further, making the world feel more alive and reactive than ever. The visuals are some of the best on PS5, with incredible lighting and foliage that practically breathes. Combat evolved too, blending new weapon styles and traversal options seamlessly. Released October 2025 exclusively on PS5, this game is the definition of cinematic open world done right. If you loved Tsushima, Yotei is an upgrade in every single category. Number 4, and Kingdom Come: Deliverance II earns its place here without question. Warhorse Studios went bigger with Henry's second chapter, delivering one of the most immersive medieval open worlds in gaming history. You eat, sleep, bathe, and train your way from a nobody to a formidable knight, and the world reacts accordingly. The sword combat is still the most realistic out there, demanding timing and skill rather than button mashing. The map expanded significantly, introducing new regions full of quests, secrets, and genuinely memorable characters. It launched on PC and consoles in early 2025, and remains one of the most talked about RPGs of the year for good reason. 5, and Death Stranding 2 on the beach is exactly the Hideo Kojima experience you expect, amplified. Sam Porter Bridges is back, and this time the post-apocalyptic world is bigger, weirder, and even more hauntingly beautiful. Released June 2025 on PS5, the core loop of traversal, delivery, and connection is refined to a satisfying degree. New mechanics add combat depth, and the environmental storytelling hits harder than ever. The BT encounters feel genuinely unsettling in a way that the first game only hinted at. If the original felt too slow for you, this one finds a better balance, and the cinematics alone justify the playthrough. A bold, strange, unforgettable open world that no other studio could make. 6, The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion Remastered is a shadow drop that genuinely shook the internet in 2025. Cyrodiil has never looked or felt this good, with a full visual overhaul, improved animations, and reworked enemy AI, bringing the classic RPG back to modern standards. The open world is incredibly detailed, with dozens of factions, hidden dungeons, and questlines that easily rival Skyrim in quality. If you missed the original back in 2006, this remaster is the perfect entry point. If you loved the original, this is a nostalgia trip elevated to something genuinely impressive. It remains one of the most content-rich open-world experiences available on any platform right now. 7, and Dune Awakening launched June 2025 on PC and quickly became the open-world survival MMO nobody saw coming but everyone wanted. Set in an alternate Arrakis where Paul Atreides was never born, you crash land on the desert planet as an outsider trying to survive, build, and rise to power. The world is massive, with a seamless map 9 times the size of Conan Exiles. Sandworms are a constant threat, spice harvesting drives the economy, and the weekly Coriolis storms physically reshape the deep desert map. The political faction system between House Atreides and Harkonnen adds a layer of live strategy that makes every session feel different. A must-play for survival and open-world fans alike.
Number 8, Crimson Desert arrived March 2026 and immediately became one of the most talked about releases of the year. Pearl Abyss crafted a massive single-player action-adventure set in the war-torn continent of Pywell, following Mercenary Cliff as he rebuilds the Greymanes. Combat is spectacular, blending God of War's cinematic flair with Elden Ring-level boss encounters. The world is dense with detail, rewarding exploration at every turn. It is visually a feast, performing brilliantly on PS5, with some of the most breathtaking views in the genre. Patches post-launch have kept the experience smooth and engaging. If you want an open-world RPG with real weight and ambition, Crimson Desert is exactly that. Number 10, Borderlands 4 brought the cel-shaded looter-shooter mayhem back in full force in 2025. New Vault Hunters, a brand new world, and the franchise's signature absurd humor make this one a blast from start to finish. The open world expanded compared to its predecessors, with more varied biomes and secrets scattered everywhere. Cooperative play for up to 4 players remains the best way to experience it, though solo is equally rewarding. The gun variety is borderline insane in the best possible way, with billions of procedurally generated weapons making every drop feel exciting. If you have friends who game, this is the multiplayer open-world pick of 2025 without a doubt. 11. Elden Ring Night Rain takes the Soulsborne formula and wraps it in a fresh roguelite open-world structure that genuinely feels different. Set in a condensed version of the Lands Between, 3 players cooperate to survive escalating nights and defeat a final boss before time runs out. The shrinking world mechanic creates urgency and forces bold decisions. Combat is classic From Software, demanding and rewarding in equal measure. It launched in 2025 and immediately divided fans, but those who embraced the new format found a deeply replayable, tightly designed experience. For players who want their open world with edge-of-seat tension baked into every session, this is it. 12. Dying Light. The Beast puts Chris Crane front and center in a visceral, open-world survival horror experience that builds on everything Techland learned for the first 2 entries. The Beast delivers a denser, darker world with new traversal mechanics and a relentless pursuit from its titular antagonist woven into the narrative. Parkour is as satisfying as ever, and the day-night cycle creates genuine fear when you are caught outside unprepared. The world is full of secrets, survivor camps, and horrific infected variants that require smart play to handle. Released in 2025, this one flew under the radar for some, but consistently earns praise from players who gave it a real shot. 13. Days Gone Remastered brought Deacon St. John back to modern hardware with a full visual upgrade and performance improvements that breathe new life into the open-world biker survival game. The Freaker Horde system remains one of the most impressive crowd simulation spectacles in gaming, with thousands of enemies flooding the screen at once. Oregon's wilderness is gorgeous, the bike gameplay is genuinely fun, and the emotional story hits harder than it ever got credit for. This remaster introduces the game to a whole new generation, while giving returning players the definitive version they always deserved. It is a reminder that the original was massively underrated on release. 14. Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon is one of the most underrated open-world RPGs on PC right now. Built by Awaken Realms, it draws clear inspiration from Skyrim and The Witcher 3, while carving its own dark Arthurian identity. The world of Avalon is moody, mysterious, and packed with handcrafted quests that reward curiosity. Combat is straightforward but satisfying, and the atmosphere is consistently excellent. For an indie title, the scale is genuinely impressive. If you are the kind of player who loses entire weekends to deep RPG exploration, this is the game that will do exactly that to you, and you will not regret a single hour. 15. Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl is one of the most ambitious open-world shooters ever made.
GSC Game World delivered a massive, handcrafted Chernobyl exclusion zone packed with anomalies, mutants, and a living faction system that evolves without player input. The atmosphere is oppressive in the best way possible, making every abandoned building feel genuinely threatening. The A-Life 2.0 system creates an ecosystem that breathes on its own, with NPCs and enemies living, fighting, and dying regardless of what you are doing. Post-launch patches address the technical issues from launch, and the game is now in excellent shape. A must for fans of immersive sim open worlds. 16. Pokémon Legends ZA took the Legends formula into Lumio City and delivered the most urban open-world Pokémon experience to date. While the map is smaller than some open-world peers, the density of content and the verticality of Lumio City make exploration genuinely engaging. The Pokémon roster is strong, battles feel dynamic, and the city atmosphere is charming and full of personality. For longtime fans, seeing the full 3D realization of Kalos in this format is a treat. Released in 2025, it represents another confident step forward for a series finding its footing in the open world space, and it is hard not to enjoy it on its own terms.
17. Avowed is Obsidian Entertainment's gorgeous open-world RPG set in the world of Pillars of Eternity, and it is an absolute treat for fans of deep fantasy lore. You explore the living lands as an envoy of Aedir, uncovering a spreading plague while navigating complex faction politics. First-person combat blends swords, magic, and firearms in a fluid and customizable way. The world is dense with lore, companion dialogue, and meaningful choices that shape your journey. It launched in early 2025 and delivered exactly the kind of rich, story-driven open-world experience Obsidian fans had been hoping for. Highly recommended for anyone who loves narrative depth in their exploration. 18. Windrose is the pirate open world that the genre desperately needed after years of waiting. Launching in early access on Steam in April 2026, it fills the gap left by Skull and Bones with confident, satisfying seafaring and island exploration. Ship combat is engaging, plunder is rewarding, and the world design gives genuine freedom to chart your own course. It is an indie title, so expectations should be calibrated accordingly, but the foundations are strong, and the community response has been overwhelmingly positive. If you ever dreamed of a proper open-world pirate game with real exploration at its heart, Windrose is already delivering that fantasy in a compelling early access form. 19. Seven Deadly Sins Origins enters 2026 as one of the more impressive anime-style open-world action RPGs available. Based on the beloved manga and anime, it delivers a sprawling world full of character, vibrant combat, and deep lore for fans of the source material. The production quality is high, with detailed environments and fluid character animations that bring the world of Britannia to life in a way the series deserved. New players can enjoy it as a standalone experience, while fans of the anime will get extra satisfaction from seeing familiar characters and locations fully realized. It has found a solid audience and continues to grow through post-launch content updates. 20. Tokyo Extreme Racer makes a compelling case for open-world street racing in a way few games manage. Set in the neon-soaked highways of Tokyo, the game lets you cruise freely, challenge rivals, and build your dream car at your own pace. The tension of street racing against rival crews creates an addictive loop that keeps pulling you back for one more run. The atmosphere is dripping with late-night Japanese car culture, from the soundtrack to the visual style. Released in 2025, it found a dedicated fan base that appreciated its pure, focused vision of open-world racing freedom. If you want speed with atmosphere and no filler, this delivers exactly that. 21. Cyberpunk 2077 may have launched years ago, but in 2026, it is arguably the best it has ever been. Night City remains one of the most detailed open worlds ever constructed, and with the Phantom Liberty expansion, the story content is genuinely excellent. The PS5 Pro upgrade and continued patches have pushed visuals and performance to incredible heights. V's story is compelling, the side content is dense and varied, and the atmosphere of Night City is unmatched. For anyone who bounced off the original troubled launch, revisiting it now is like playing an entirely different game. It belongs on this list because right now, in 2026, it is genuinely one of the best open world experiences you can have. 22. Red Dead Redemption 2 continues to be a benchmark for open world design that newer games still struggle to match. Rockstar's depiction of the dying American frontier through Arthur Morgan's eyes is a masterclass in environmental storytelling, atmosphere, and detail. Every corner of the map holds something worth discovering, from chance encounters to hidden animal locations and layered side stories. The simulation elements make the world feel genuinely alive in a way that remains unmatched. In 2026, it is still worth picking up or returning to, especially as anticipation for GTA 6 builds. This is the standard against which all open-world narrative games are measured. 23, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora from Ubisoft Massive remains one of the most visually spectacular open worlds available. Powered by the Snowdrop engine, the western frontier of Pandora is genuinely jaw-dropping, filled with bioluminescent flora, floating cliffs, and alien fauna that rewards patient exploration. Playing as a Na'vi and experiencing the world from their perspective, both on foot and through aerial traversal, gives the game a unique identity within the open-world genre. It launched in late 2023, but remains highly relevant in 2026, especially with updates and a growing player base discovering it. For sheer visual beauty and open-world ambition, few games come close. 24, Starfield may have launched to mixed reactions, but in 2026, it is a significantly improved experience. The Free Lanes update overhauled space exploration and travel. The Terran Armada DLC added compelling new story content, and quality of life improvements have addressed many of the early criticisms. Bethesda's sprawling space RPG rewards players who lean into its systems, with a staggering amount of content across hundreds of planets. For Game Pass subscribers especially, there is no reason not to give it another look now. If the empty planets frustrated you on launch, the current state of Starfield is genuinely worth revisiting with fresh eyes, and lowered expectations for what kind of open world it is.